Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. In today's video, we're going to be going over the brand new Ankora fusion schedule that just got dropped in game. There's also going to be a progressive event that's going to be happening for the upcoming Summon Rush, so we can go over the champions for that. And in this schedule, there's going to be some tricky parts to it, so I think we're going to try to take it a little bit slow and go over it together. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so first things first, there's going to be a progressive event on the 9th, so Friday, so that's going to be tomorrow, and there's going to be the main prize here, and the main tease that's going to be happening is 15x for Archer. This is going to be one of her events. I mean, the other champions are pretty good too. Lady Kimmy, Urgir is an old fusion, Samson, Archbishop is actually pretty good for Hydra, and then some Void shards. Yeah, no boosted rates or anything like that, but Archer, I mean 15x Archer, some people might be waiting for this. I don't think it's going to be the last event for her, so make sure you guys keep save your shards. But she's there, and that's actually kind of nice for Plarium to put her in an event for basically a mandatory fusion, because let's go over the fusion schedule together. So here's the fusion schedule, just got dropped today, a couple hours ago. So Wight Queen Ankora, I think she's a good champion. I think she's good by herself. So anybody that's progressing through the game can use her by herself. Obviously with Wight King Narcissus, together they are a very strong combo, especially in arena PvP. However, she's not just a PvP champion. She has a 3-turn cleanse, she has a 3-turn revive, but I would say she's more focused on PvP, but she can definitely help a lot of accounts in other areas as well. So definitely consider that. I think she's I think she's just a good champion, especially for a fusion. So today we're starting with the Fire Knight, and as tradition holds, it never starts with the Dungeon Diver. I mean, it doesn't start sometimes, but it would be nice if it starts with a Dungeon Diver. So today, no Dungeon Diver with the Fire Knight, starting with the classic arena. So arenas are basically always do because they're very easy. So what do we got? We got 2 arenas today, 2 arenas in the schedule, so that's fine. So today we're just going to be using our free energy for Fire Knight until we get to the Dungeon Diver tomorrow, which we can use more energy. Near the end of near the end of the Fire Knight, we're going to start champion training along with Spider. So training with Fire Knight and Spider is actually kind of difficult because usually Spider and Fire Knight don't really have trainingable teams, I guess, trainingable farm teams. So it's a little bit more difficult because you won't be able to double dip with them. So for Fire Knight, it's going to be like 2.5k energy. And then Spider is going to be like 2.5k energy. And then that will finish off this Dungeon Diver, hopefully. So at least we get to kind of space out the energy into 2 events, as opposed to some fusion schedules in the past where you have to put basically like 5k energy into 1 event, which is not very cool. So that means training is going to be basically done by itself, which is probably okay, but obviously not ideal. So here's the summon event for the Archer. That's fine. It's together with the training event, which is good because you can summon and then train at the same time. What are we looking at for artifact enhancement? 1, 2, 3. That's pretty standard nowadays. What are we looking at for artifact enhancement? Probably 4,700. That seems to be the going rate for artifact enhancement. So those are probably given. What are we looking for Dungeon Divers? We got 1 Dungeon Diver, and then we got 2 Dungeon Divers. In past fusions, there's been 3 Dungeon Divers, so this isn't so bad, I guess, for energy spend. The problem with this this second one, is that it kind of will be done by itself, I guess, since there's no real event happening here. Like, there's a Spider tournament, but you probably need to finish Spider for the first Dungeon Diver. So this Dungeon Diver is probably like a dealer's choice, so you can choose whatever dungeon you want to do for this one. And there's not really much going on for 3 days. It's not CVC or anything. I don't believe, is it CVC? CVC, actually no, I apologize, this is CVC. So we got CVC with Spider. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. That's not too bad then. So CVC with Spider and then Dungeon Diver. So that's fine. We got Dragon here with training. No, sorry, Dragon with Champion Chase. That's okay, I guess. There's no training. That's why I'm going to say that this hero's path. This is going to be a shocker here, right? Because there's a sneaky hero's path, and I think it's going to be a training event. It's going to be a training event because, as you can see, we only have one training event here, and this is going to be the training event, the hero's path. Training focused, and probably dungeon diving. So training plus dungeon diving, maybe, just because we only have 2 dungeon divers. It kind of makes sense, right? Because it lines up with the chase, so you can pull champions and then train them. Whether the hero's path gets you something significant, maybe like Archer. We don't know, right? We don't know. We don't know how crazy that's going to get. We don't know how crazy this path is going to be. It might be for a soul. It might be for a soul for something. I don't know. But just some things to consider. And then we got Ice Golem here at the tail end of everything. So if Ice Golem, if this is a Dungeon Diver with training, then we have Ice Golem and Dragon to go into it, which is actually okay because both Dragon and Ice Golem are good for double dipping with training events and dungeon diving events. All right, so I mean, there's some unknowns here, right? Like the hero's path, very unknown. However, my guess would be it's a dungeon diver with a champion training. So it's a big energy spend. The other thing that's a little bit tricky in this is that there's actually going to be 55, 15, so that's 70 plus 40. There's actually 110 fragments only. There's not a clean 115, which means if it was 115, that means you can skip one summon event. So you can skip Champion Chase or Summon Rush. But because it's only 110, it's hard to determine what you can skip at this point because you don't know if the Champion Chase is going to be a solid single 15 or if it's going to be a 5 and 10. And you don't know if the hero's path is going to be a single 15 or a 5 and 10. If it's a 5 and 10, then we have some flexibility with what we can do with the 110 fragments that are available and which 10 you can skip. My advice would be to finish the Summon Rush coming up today or tomorrow, and then leave the flexible, trying to find the flexibility later on. Because even if you skip, let's say, the first part of Champion Chase, or you can skip the first part of Hero's Path. I think both of these will be 5-10. That just kind of makes sense. So I think we'll find the flexibility later on in the schedule. So that's why I'm going to say don't skip the second part of the Summon Rush. If the Summon Rush is actually split into 2, it should be. And then try to skip later on in the tournament, in the schedule. Personally, I think the schedule is a little bit challenging in the first week. The second week might be a little bit better, but honestly, it depends on what this hero path is. Am I worried for my own account? Because I only have 200 gems. Am I worried about my own account? Yeah, maybe. I mean, hopefully we can get some loot from CVC and all that, but I think I should be okay. In terms of shards, I've saved all my shards, so I think I can do this fusion no problem. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this fusion. Let me know what you guys are planning on doing for this fusion. And I mean, overall, I think it's probably quite doable. However, challenging with the 110 fragments and this mysterious hero's path, but I think it's going to be champion training with the dungeon diver mixed into here, which kind of makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, energy spend here for CVC. That's about it. Otherwise, all the energy is very efficiently used for various events. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be my thoughts on the Fusion calendar. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.